All right, we are up and recording.
Okay, let's get started. I'd like to call to order the Board of Trustees regular meeting for the town of Fraser at 6 o'clock. Can I have a roll call, please?
Katie Fisher,
Adam Quicklin.
Peggy Smith.
Julie White.
And Brian Zerkbenek. Anybody online? Okay. Could I have an approval of the agenda with one change? We're going to swap the library and the chamber for B to A and A to B.
I make a motion to approve the agenda with the changes noted.
Second.
Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay,
I'm
motion
going to abstain.
for the next one.
No, I mean.
Oh, in general?
Yeah. B, I'm involved with on the other end,
Got it. Yeah.
or a
So
different end.
from the agenda vote,
The
well,
consent agenda vote.
we haven't done that yet.
You don't,
Oh,
we
I'm
don't
sorry.
have, do we have a quorum if he does that?
You got 4.
2, 3, 4.
Yes, a quorum is 4, so if Adam abstains, we're fine.
Okay.
So it was a yes vote on the approval of the agenda, but now we're about to do the consent, right?
Mhm.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. Could I have an approval of the consent agenda, which contains the minutes for February 19th, 2025, the Open Lands Rivers Trail Riverbank Stabilization Project Letter of Support, Resolution 2025-0301, Fraser Well Rehabilitation, and Resolution 2025-0302, Sewer Maintenance 2025.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Abstain.
One abstain. Okay. Motion passes with 4 votes. Okay, moving on to open forum. This is for business not on the agenda. If you'd like to address the board, you can head up to the mic and you have 3 minutes of time. Anybody here in the audience? Anybody online? Okay, moving right along. Discussion and possible action regarding Grand County Library District update. Tara Thompson.
Thank you so much for having us. My name is Tara Thompson. I'm the Director of Finance for Grand County Libraries. I'm joined with board members Darcy Schlichting and one of our newest board members, Erica Cohen. Maybe some of you recognize them as they're from this area. So we're really excited to have the new trustees. If you haven't heard, we're on the search for a new executive director. We will be interviewing candidates next Tuesday at our regularly scheduled board meeting. So in the interim, Chris Newell, Director of Public Services, and I are acting interim directors. So generally, we do an annual update to all of our service areas. And so I'm here to do that for you tonight. So appreciate you having us. We just finished our 2024 financial audit. Of course, that's my wheelhouse. Chris definitely can go into more detail of all the programming that we have, but pretty excited. We brought about $2.5 million to the bottom line in 2024, and that's intentional. That's intentional because we have a plan to build a new Kremling library. We're working on a land donation. We have a project plan, but building up that fund balance really is intentional because we have that project. 2025 budget is much of the same, expected to bring in about 5.7 million in revenue. That includes tax revenue, donations, in kind. We have a great relationship with Grand County Public Health and Mountain Family Center to put on a senior lunch and learn program. That's all funded by Grand County. Our expenditure base looks like we're increasing that by about $200,000 every year. That's not necessarily the cost of doing business because we do have some one-time expenses that we're looking at, consulting fees for the Kremling Library. We have some big plans for 2025. So that's really where I want to put my focus is what we're excited about for this year and this budget year. We're always seeing a constant increase of our library card holders. So that's awesome. I think that the statistics show that our library card holders increase higher than Grand County population increases. And so that really speaks to the visitors' library cards that we have. And so we have some pretty exciting strategic framework initiatives that I will show you on the screen here. And 2025 is the final year of our strategic plan. So new executive director, new trustees, new strategic plan. We're very excited about all the things that we have for 2025. Am I not doing the right one? Ah, there we go. So our strategic framework has three components: diverse services and collection, access, and being a community resource. So we do a 5-year strategic framework, and we're going to finish 2025 really strong with these initiatives. Am I not pushing the right thing? There we go. So in 2025, we still have some strides to do in marketing, digital access, civic engagement, open hours, and teens. Part of Fraser's statistics specifically, it's interesting because there's more visits to the library, but there's less physical collection being borrowed. There's more digital collection being borrowed. So when you're looking at those statistics and that usage, it kind of shows that Fraser library patrons are more interested in the space of the library than the actual materials on the shelf, because you're getting your materials digitally. So that could be program participation. We've definitely seen an increase in program participation, in part because we've started offering new and diverse programs. We always have our Wednesday story time. We've got our senior lunch and learn. We've got our read to a dog program, after school clubs, tech time. We've added an armchair traveler. We've added Saturday story time. We've gotten really good response from the public on that. I have several flyers up here that are just new and unique programs offered at the Fraser Valley Library. So let me know if you're interested in the Just Write It program. That's silent writing time for you to actually have a quiet space and maybe jot down your memoir that you've always wanted to write. An anime club. There's a mountain lion informational program we're putting on. We're showing the Colorado Ballet Alice in Wonderland program. So those are all the new programs at Fraser Valley Library, just that library. Digital access. In 2024, we added a 24-hour-a-week digital resources associate. This person is looking at all of our digital resources, but they're also teaching patrons as well as staff and how to use those resources. So databases, information literacy, so on and so forth. So we're very excited that we've been able to add that position. We're looking at implementing a self-service model at Hot Sulphur Springs. Hot Sulphur is one of our branches that has the lowest amount of open hours, and so expanding that access to people by having a self-serve where certain patrons have an access code. They can go into that library during off hours, not open hours. However, those hours will mimic the time that staff is over at the Kremling Library so that they still have that staff support that they can call over. So we're really excited to get that implemented, hopefully by the end of this month. The Granby Library is going to see some upgrades to the audio-visual equipment. We cannot really even get our own programs in that community room space because it's always being utilized. Fraser's urban community room, the same thing. We have huge community usage of those meeting rooms, so we want to make sure that technology is advanced so that people can have that technology for their presentations. I mentioned digital resource use is up, up, up. It does beg the question, at what point do the shelves become more space utilization, especially when I'm looking at the door counts in Fraser and not enough study rooms. Those study rooms are booked all the time. So when are we trading those shelves for more space utilization? We're excited that we're doing a facility master plan project this year, and it's going to be looking at just that. Are we utilizing the spaces that we have in all of our libraries based on how patrons need it and our collection usage? We implemented a cloud-based security system, and that's in the final stages of being worked out with panic buttons, access control. So that's access piece. Civic engagement, part of that is doing these annual meetings. We're always going out to the children's fair. We do story times at preschools. We're looking at a workforce pipeline program in conjunction with Diane Butler. Sensory garden over at the Granby Library. That's really exciting because it's eat, smell, feel plants that go along with story time. Book clubs, and makerspace. We're looking at what kind of makerspace ideas and needs Greene County has. If you're not aware of what makerspace is, it could be sewing machines, it could be power equipment. It's that opportunity for you to go in and actually make something entrepreneurial as well. Open hours. I mentioned the help self-service at Hot Sulphur. We've actually expanded the program offering at Hot Sulphur Springs to do the senior lunch and learn program monthly rather than quarterly. But because that library is so small, we've had to do it during closed hours. So we've expanded just a Tuesday adult program for senior lunch and learn and community connections. We're looking at implementing umbrellas with solar power at Fraser, Granby, and Kremling so that people can have access outside of open hours and be able to plug in their devices in those tables. Program time for non-English population. We're really looking at what offerings we can do for the Hispanic population and the Spanish-speaking population with the resources that we have. Marketing, of course, all of that is only possible if people know what we have to offer. I like doing these reports because I think it always surprises people what we have to offer. It's not just books, it's not just movies, it's library of things. You can rent snowshoes. If you've never snowshoed before and you don't want to make that financial commitment, go and borrow those from the library and you can check it out. Freedom of Information Day, that's actually March 16th. Outreach Read Day is happening in April. So we make ourselves available and visible at all of these opportunities that we can. We do underwriting with KFFR. If you have listened to the radio, you've probably heard some library spiel on there before. Book Madness. That is a really exciting program. If you've heard of March Madness with the NCAA tournament, this is the same concept, but with books. Is there anybody in the room that has read for Book Madness before? Glenn? So we're looking for readers. What this is the two of you read a book, and the school-age children, we actually go into the libraries, into the elementary schools. There's two people that read two separate books, and the classes get to vote on them. So it's an interesting test in democracy and difference of opinions and not voting for what your friend votes for. And then it gets broken down until the two final books are read to all the classes, and then a winner is announced. And so it's a really fun program. If you're interested in reading for Book Madness, you can get in contact with us at our district office. Chris Newell will be the one to sign you up. So it's a lot of fun. Teens, engaging teens is a really difficult ask for the library. We get them really good with preschool and early literacy. And then there's like this age gap where kids don't want to use the library or don't come into the library. In Grand County, it has a lot to do with extracurriculars. There's a lot of other things that kids are doing and not going into the library. But what about those kids that aren't in sports? So one of our initiatives is to engage teens. We've done that with teen hangouts. We have a teen advisory group, or what we call TAG. One of the events that's been really successful is the Granby Haunted House. So this was teen organized, teen decorated. The teens did the whole thing, and they probably had over 600 participants walk through that haunted house in Granby. So that was a lot of fun and really good engagement for the teens. We actually have a teen night scheduled for March 14th. Teen Hangouts, I mentioned that tag. 100 books before graduation. There is 1,000 books before kindergarten program that we've always had, but this is making sure that those high schoolers and those teens, they have another incentive. We all love incentives, right? It's easier to get something done if you have some sort of prize at the end of we all live to chase the cheese. We're also going to be looking at use space analysis. Again, part of that facility master plan. Thank you for filling out the survey. If you've completed the library survey, that's all going into the strategic plan and that facility master plan. So again, making sure we're using the space how the community needs that. And so that's all I really have to report, unless there was any questions that you guys had.
How long are the books in the Book Madness?
They vary in length, but really the commitment's about half an hour, 45 minutes if you want to stay and listen to the other book. I've read twice now. It really is a lot of fun just to see the wonder in kids' eyes. I'm the finance director. I don't get the fuzzy feeling of the library, right? But somebody's still got to pay the bills and keep the lights on. But just to see those kids sitting around you, and they are so enthralled with the story. Plus, there's a little bit of healthy competition. And so obviously, if you're reading your book, you want your book to win. So costumes are encouraged. Inflection is encouraged. So I would have to look at the time slot specifically, but it's a half-hour commitment. Ooh, a little healthy competition. That's a great idea. And you can talk to Glenn about his experience because he's read and it's a lot of fun, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah,
The
exactly.
most important part.
Or if my trustees had anything to add as well.
Love the library, that's all I can say. Awesome place, I love everything that's been going on, all the changes and growth that's happened in the years that I've been a trustee. It's been awesome.
And if anybody's interested in those programs, I don't want to just leave all these, but if you're interested, I'm gonna go ahead and leave them with Antoinette and then I can pick them up later, so.
I just want to say thank you for all you do and all you provide. It's a wonderful asset for our neighborhood.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay. Winter Park Fraser Chamber of Commerce work plan. Catherine Ross.
Thanks, you guys. Antoinette's kind of kind enough to drive for me so that I don't have to push the buttons. Thank you, ladies. Thanks for going first. We appreciate it. Okay. So we've had, we're excited, I'm excited to be here and the board's excited to have sent me. I know we've had some talks. Michael and Peggy came and had a conversation with the chamber board last month. And the chamber board is very interested in changing the bylaws so that you can appoint a town trustee to the chamber board. It would be an appointment, not an election. But before you do that, we thought that that I should come and give you an overview of what we're doing. And the chamber board and the chamber staff really wants us to be partners, but that means like, especially now, you kind of have to buy into where we are in our work plan. Like, we're not for 2025 looking to like go in some other directions right now. So I wanted to bring the work plan to make sure everybody wants to do that, like do what we're doing, because it might not be really what you want to do. So so I brought a quick overview of our annual report because in 2024 Fraser did contribute to the marketing program, and just wanted to go over, like, a lot of times people think we put on events. We do that. But we do other things, and we wanted to make sure this board was up to date on what we do and kind of what our numbers are. Do you want me to do it? Do you want me to? Oh, okay. Okay. It's okay. So while we're waiting, the things that aren't on there, one of the projects that really isn't on there that Brian and Michael have been involved in, and Paul, is the Winter Park and Fraser Community Sustainability Plan. We've embarked upon a wayfinding project that you're helping pay for along with the town of Winter Park and Winter Park Resort. And last week we did have 2 consultants come from Merge Design, which is the entity that's going to be working with us on that. It was a very interesting, this Sarah was kind enough to take us on a tour of Fraser. Jamie Walter took us on a tour of Winter Park. We started at the top of the pass and we finished at the Fraser Valley Sports Complex. And we went off the road, up to Rendezvous, out to the forest access, and just got a view with a lens of what new residents, not just our guests, but new residents, even other residents, because I have people on my team that were like, really? Is that there? So so we went with that lens and definitely found that we could really use some wayfinding. And so wayfinding is more than that we're going to make signs. It's part of it is signage and like signage that is continuous throughout all the communities. Ed Ragnar was at the meeting. He's very interested in playing also with the county so that we have consistent signage and then technology. So we we've asked for the consultants to bring in the master plan that they're developing for us to make sure that they bring a piece about creating a community app that would give information, give directions, tell people where there are sites to see or places of interest, how to get to the trails, where the trails are, where they go. And then also, it's not working. It's okay. And then also it would, there's opportunities to do tours on an app like that, that it would all be in one place. So, I know we have a walking tour of Fraser. I know we do. I don't know if everybody else, right? We have it, and we did it a bunch of years ago. So there's a lovely historic walking tour of Fraser. Things like that would be on the app. There are things that we've created in the past that aren't, that go away. This way it could all get put on that app and be points of interest for people. So wayfinding is more than signage. The resort is playing. Mr. Folks told us nothing's not on the table, which was good to hear once we went up there with people who have never been there before. They're like, how do people even know Mary Jane's a ski area? I was like, it's a secret. We like to keep it a secret. We like to just keep these things a secret. The only parking signs to get into Winter Park Resort when you're at the Winter Park side, next time you drive, you take a peek at this. The signs say bus parking this way. So if you've never been there before, you don't think you can go into the vintage lot or go park in the garage. And it doesn't say that. So it's all those pieces of trying to work together, and hopefully I can come back to you with, when we get close, when we bring the master plan forward, you'll be able to see there's some really good ways. This company's done Whistler, they did Fayetteville and Bentonville in Northwest Arkansas, which is a great community to look at their wayfinding because it's more than one community. And each community has on the signage has their own identity on it, but the signs themselves look continuous with an identity on the sign. So it feels like you can get around and you know what you're looking at. So with that, really quick, now we're up here. I'm going to go fast through the review. I can talk fast. So we just wanted you to see first the review of 2024. I'm just going to throw numbers at you. You have this, so you can share it with everyone. The photos are from a photo shoot that we did this summer. So we have all new photos for summer, and we've also done a winter shoot now. So, and we have a whole file of photos that members can use for their marketing. So they can access that photo. It's a digital asset manager. And they can access that and use the photos. They get a password and they can use it. So with that, now we'll go fast. So this is the mission statement. Just to refresh everybody, our mission is to implement programs of work and act as a resource and provide those tools that assist businesses to become vibrant, dynamic, and sustainable. So we want to bring tools to our business community and to our community at large. Our purpose is to support, promote, and increase business opportunities. Whatever that means, whatever we're needed. We probably have to, can we make it big? So Maria's slide is really tiny because she puts everything on there that she did. So this is just to give you an idea. This is part of our community development is the membership activities that we do. So you can look at it closer. Needless to say, it's a long list of membership events that happen throughout the year. So this isn't jazz festival. These are member to member, business to business events and community events. So, and then I can't read it, but it does say, and then also on membership communication, there's a weekly e-blast that goes out as well as some dedicated ones. And I know we'll know the numbers. I should have brought the laptop up, but that's okay. This is the only one that's really little. That's fine. Let's just move to marketing. She does send lots of emails out, good communication, good open rate. It's the way we communicate to our business owners. Pretty much we've gotten people on board. Just if you're wondering, we have, as of today, we have 361 members throughout Grant County, and then also a couple out of Grant County that joined to be part of our festivals. So you get a better deal as a vendor if you're, can you go backward? Thanks. If you get a better deal if you're a member to be a vendor at the events. So this one, if we can make it big enough, or I'll just come over there and look at it. This one's really important. So this is what, this is where your money went. So for email campaigns, they're beautiful. So we had 187 emails that go out to, so these are emails that actually go out to guests, potential guests. This is an internal, this is not member to member marketing. That goes out to guests. So it's a 30% open rate, which is a really high open rate for emails. We have a program called the Experience Pass, which is basically our online deals deals tool that people use, and they use it quite a bit. And we had over 6,000 new people sign up for that this year. And then there's lots of writing that says our job when we market, the goal of our marketing plan is to market the community. The goal of the marketing plan is to get people to choose this community. We look at the whole valley as our community, to choose this community over other mountain towns in Colorado. So Colorado Tourism Office's job is to get people super interested in Colorado. That's their purpose. We work closely with the Grand County Tourism Board. Sometimes our budget's as big as theirs. So it's important that we work with them, along with Winter Park Resort. So we have regular meetings with those strategic partners to make sure we are not duplicating efforts and that we're complementing each other's marketing and that we have the same messaging. So we try not to have conflicting messages in the marketplace. And if we have social media going out to the Denver market, and then Winter Park Resort will spend their dollars and put it into the Texas market. So by communicating, we're not everybody putting it into the same market. We're able to distribute the messaging much bigger along with the tourism board, the county tourism board. And that is different than the olden days. In the olden days, people wouldn't share their information. It was proprietary and they didn't want anybody to know where they were going. So now we communicate so that everybody uses their dollars better. I can't read the web. You guys tell me what it says. How many web views? So 508,000 web users. We had 1.3 million page views. So your money went to this. Yeah.
189,000
And Facebook.
engagement, 515.6K accounts reached, and 2,053 new Instagram followers.
So this is like where your money went, and we feel really good about these numbers. This year we were even on 2024. We had we're a little bit over, but I'll be honest, we're higher than 2024 because we announced Jazz Festival in December, and we've never done that before. So we had a really big spike. So we're even. Other mountain towns are down between 10 and 20% on their website visits. So we're feeling really good about that. And pretty much all of our marketing is on social media. The only print we do is we do some print in the Colorado Vacation Guide, a small ad in there. But otherwise, our dollars are spent on online marketing because we're able to target our audience, and we're looking that our audience is people who are outdoor enthusiasts, people who want to come to have a smaller, quieter vacation, and people who might be interested in who we are, which is unpretentious and a small town, and they want to come and go somewhere friendly. So that's our target audience. Events, we do events. We do indeed. So We had over 30,000 attendees at our events this year, and that we count. So if you came to 5, that's 5. So it's not individuals, but we had 30,000 attendees. We put on a lot of events. Economic impact was $9.9 million just from the ticketed events. So that's just the ones that we sell tickets at. We get this data because when we do ticketed events, we send everybody a survey. They tell us how many nights they stayed, how much money they spent, if they came just for the event or not. So we get all that data from there. We did a great job with ticket sales this year. Jazz Festival was bigger than ever. It'll be bigger this year because we have Boys to Men are coming back, and Musique Soul Child, which some people in the park knew who that was. I was impressed because I didn't until I looked it up. So, so we had a great calendar of events. I think you're all pretty aware of what the events were and what they'll continue to be. We'll talk about 2025. So I think that's the last slide on the review. I tried to keep it. Again, here's our mission statement. I think I'm not going to read that to you again, but I just wanted to, we put some things in that, that we work, the staff are committed to working with our community partners to fulfill the mission. We're prepared, and I think this is really important to let you know. We're prepared, and I think we've proven ourselves to passionately help this community wherever and whenever we're needed. If there's a fire, if there's a pandemic, if there's a recession, not that that's going to happen, but if any of those things happen, we're ready to pivot and change this plan and do what we need to do and use our talents as best we can. So, so we're ready now. We know that right now is a pretty ever-changing landscape more than ever, looking at travel and visitation and forest. Will we open it? Or my view is we can just do whatever we want now. So, because nobody's there, but we can build any trails we want. So, but our job is to be here to assist our community be successful, whatever that takes. And that's not just about money. It's about taking care of people. We work very closely with Grant Foundation. So the chambers worked diligently on helping bring more resources to the community for mental health assistance. And we've worked closely with the Building Hope Fund to do that, along with working on housing. We've always worked on housing, and helping get funding passed. We're the PAC. We have the PAC. So, and it's called Vision for the Future. That's all we can pretty much use that political action campaign for anything. So we have a political action committee. We're here to help the community any way we can. And we will be working along with Grant Foundation and the community on childcare issues. So any way we can be of assistance there. So otherwise, for this year, we have, oh, there's more slides.
Oh, there are.
Yeah.
Good.
Is it? Is that all that came?
No, hold on.
Okay. So for this year, we have the marketing plan is close to what it was last year. It was successful. Things we are changing is we're going to be tracking events differently so that we can really see, in a perfect world, Peggy has asked for 100 years now for us to get the software that tracks each day for sales tax. So we actually know for sure that weekend produced, but we're not doing that. So instead, there are some programs that will be marketing and tracking our events, and we'll actually get a better data on whether or not the events actually are what's driving visitation. And I'm going to leave you with all of this, but we're going to continue to work on the sustainability plan. We'll be launching the public facing piece of that this year. So everybody will start to learn what it is. We're really close to having a name for it. That's what's taken so long. The boys don't ever like the names I bring to them. So we'll be having a name for that and then a whole campaign. And then along with that, we have a grant in to hire Confluence Sustainability. The principal of that consulting firm is Julie Klein. She's a resident here in Fraser. She owns property here in Fraser and she does a great job. And so we would like to work with her to build a public engagement piece for the community plan and then work to be certified as a mountain ideal community so that we can be just like Vail and Breckenridge and Aspen and Park City. And we get a stamp. But it's a really good program for all of us to have like a way to think about destination stewardship. Otherwise, we'll continue to work with our partners. You're one of our partners, of course. Big changes that you might see are in events. A couple of the changes in events is we're taking a couple and morphing them into something new because you got to do that with events, except for jazz. You never touch jazz. Never touch jazz festival. We'll be taking, like, instead of doing Brewfest and Uncorked, we're turning that into one new event called Crafts, Cocktails, and Corks. So it'll be cocktails, it'll be craft beers, it'll be wine. And elevate it and really push that it's a tasting, not a drunk fest. We're going to really work on that, Glenn. We're really going to work on that. We don't want it to be that people just like get a beer and then go and get online and never really experience what the product is. So we want to elevate it to be like a tasting. Still be us. Like, we don't want anybody to dress up, but we want people to like actually enjoy what's there. And then the other one is, so Soulshine and Country go away this year, and they become a new event called Revel in the Park. So to revel is to have a party with dancing and drinking. But it'll also be an outdoor festival. So during the day for that, we'll be offering, and we'll be working with the rec district down here, and we're about to create a street team. The rest of my team's doing a networking thing, recruiting a street team for this. We want this to be that during the day you come and experience all the great things we have, who we are as a community. So free guided rides, free guided hikes. We're working with the resort to have that. If you have a wristband, you get try the gondola for free yoga. We're gonna approach Headwaters Event Center and see if we can do River Journey for free, and just really have people experience all throughout the community everything outdoor with their family. There'll be some camping because you have to for these festivals, and then Friday night it starts Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday morning. Friday night we're going to do a free show because we're having a lot of trouble getting talent because they're all getting paid too much money. So there'll be a free show with a very popular like jam band, bluegrassy band that I can't name yet. And then Saturday is play outside again. And then around 4:30, there'll be like 4 or 5 bands at Rendezvous Event Center. That's a ticketed show. We're working with Bonfire Entertainment that puts on Winter Wondergrass and Baja Grass. They're very well known as a producer promoter of events, along with AEG, who are like one of the biggest promoters in the country and especially in the Denver Front Range. Our vision for that one is that 3 years from now, they just do it. Like, we'll help them, but we want to go back to the olden days where like they take all the risk and we don't use public dollars to risk on this. And instead we bring in a third party that understands who we are and puts on events. So Winter Wondergrass is a good example of that. Steamboat Resort still sponsors it, but they don't have to risk any public dollars. So those are the big changes for this summer. If you have any questions, and then in the fall, we'll get started all over again, planning and going back to member events. So High Note Thursdays will happen. The first Thursday is the Thursday before Blues Festival. And we're going to have like 3 different times. We'll have bigger bands on Thursday night. That's membership appreciation. So come and have dinner with us. There'll be tacos. And then every Thursday after that. And it happens until it doesn't. That started last year. We do not cancel it until 7:30. And if it's still raining and thundering and lightning, then it's done. But otherwise, because a couple of times we've canceled it, then the sun comes out in the rainbow. It's very sad. So. You did what? And the sun came out. It's very sad. It's
really bad before the sun came up.
Well, of course it did. It was pouring rain the last time I canceled it. And pouring rain, the lightning was half a mile away. Everything was danger, danger. And then the last band member got off the stage and the sun came out. And then all the people that were there were mad at me. So we're not doing that anymore. Any questions, concerns about what the chamber's doing these days? I think you know our brand is, we're in a park, Colorado Unfiltered. We may be seeing come fall some refinement to some of that brand. You won't see a change in the logo ever again. And if someone wants to change it, that would be one of my boundaries where I will be retiring. I'm never, ever want to change the community logo again. It was fun, but we don't want to do it again. It was too much fun. And so there'll be some refinements so that we simplify how we tell people about what our brand is. There's been, the Altera spent hundreds of thousands of dollars doing some really big research this past year and a half. And so we're going to click onto that and probably work with them on just refining what the messaging is. I think working with Sarah has been really great. I brought like this one board. So some of the things we do are like this. So this is old. We have to change it. And I know it's upside down. My husband yells at me all the time about it because north is not on top. We do have somewhere there's a little compass that tells you this is south, but so we're looking at how to change it. But I just wanted to like bring to your attention that there are pieces like this internally and on our website that talk about the downtown corridor. We refer to it as Winter Park and Fraser downtown corridor. We don't separate them out because we think we want to, people who are in Winter Park, we want to let them know there's Fraser, but we need to show them kind of where it is. So there are a bunch of things like that. There's the craft beverage tour that goes back and forth. The art trail, well, that's on Fraser River Trail. But so we do these things. Your Explore Fraser, your logo is on the homepage now on playwinterpark.com. So it isn't just a button that says Fraser, it's actually your logo. So we've got that up and running. And I would think that you see the numbers for marketing. So those people just look up things to do. And tubing's in the winter. Tubing is the #1 search engine word for playwinterpark.com. So just so you know, it's tubing. It's it. Because they've learned about skiing. Now they come to us to learn about tubing. So, and they go tubing, obviously. They do find it. So
you guys do in your weekly emails, you do like lodging data.
yes, every week there's a key data report. So we pay for key data. We pay for key data. The county pays for Datify. So Datify counts, key data does forecasting. So they're collecting data from lodging properties that are telling them what the future reservations are. So you can look at that every week and it compares it to like last year. And there's a comparison to secret towns, other competitors. We're not allowed to tell you which they are, but you can probably guess them. So then it shows you where we are with them. And then Datify, and we have started to put that out there. That counts, that's the cell phone one. So I don't believe those numbers. But we're using it and we're collecting it because the county pays for that one. We're using it as a baseline. So if Datify says that there were 50,000 people here last weekend, okay, we know there were 17,000 people at the ski resort, but were there really 50,000 people? It probably did say that, like if I go and look at it. But so we will use that as baseline so that next year we look at that weekend and say, if it says there were 55, then we know we did better. If it says there were 40, we know we did worse. But like the number for the county visitation last year is like, according to them, is like 7.7 million people. That really didn't happen. Like I would never have gone home to Granby. It just, I never would have gotten there. So maybe one big long trip. So we kind of look at that, but all around the state of Colorado, government entities are using Datify. So it's really important to collect that because we need to be able to use it when we do reports or apply for grants. We have to have like the same data as what the state is using. So, but those are in every week. So businesses can always look at it and kind of know what's going to happen. If you haven't looked at it, Saturday, it's coming. They are checking in on Saturday.
Okay.
They begin to check in for March on Saturday.
Well, so at the beginning of each email, there's like 2 reports,
Mhm.
and it has a legend that explains what the data is showing, and I read it every week, and I'm like,
Thank you.
I do not understand what this means.
You do
And
not
it's the
understand
same
it?
words every week, and I'm like, it talks about
That's
short-term rentals, owners stays, and blah blah. I'm like, I don't know
What
what
we will do, I really like that feedback. So we will do a chamber chat and we have done them, but we'll do another one. Chamber chat's something we do once a month. This past month, Speaker McCluskey was on, which was lovely. We put her on Zoom so that she didn't have to drive here. So that was a great one. That's a good topic, is to get somebody on there. I think we'll get somebody on, but not from Key Data or DataFi, because I find that when they talk about it, I get even more confused than I was before. So let us look at it, and one of us will explain it.
that'd
Probably
be
not
great.
me.
Or even just
Just write it up.
I don't
A
want to
summary?
say I don't want to say ignore short-term rentals, but I feel like that's harder to actually quantify than like hotel stays.
Well, except the short-term rentals, those numbers are coming from property management companies.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's where that's coming from. It's not coming from individuals. So maybe what we do need to do is put a summary in that's in regular language.
That'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Or
good.
you could extrapolate if the hotels are 80% booked, short-term rentals are probably also
Right.
80%
Yes.
booked.
And on that note, one of the things we did put into place this winter is that we send out an email once a week to all the lodging properties. And we ask them to tell us what their vacancy rate is. Not like we're looking for vacancy rates more. So this is for the Office of Emergency Management. We are partners with the Grant County Office of Emergency Management. And for Glenn. And Glenn and I both enjoy our emails from the Office of Emergency Management on Sundays. And so we have those numbers for them so that we don't try to send, if the pass closes, we want to avoid sending people down the road to Snow Mountain. We want Snow Mountain to have all the business possible, but we don't want to put them on the highway when we're in the middle of a blizzard if we have occupancy here, so that they don't have to travel as far. It's not about money, it's about keeping people safe. So we're working with them on that.
Is there a list of chamber members somewhere?
Sure. And just ask Maria for it. She'll give it to you.
Okay.
But she'll give you their phone numbers. We can't give you their emails. It's
Okay.
against the law. It was anyway. I don't know. That might have changed in the past couple of weeks. But as far as I know, it's still against the law. So, if you have Starlink, you might be able to get it. I don't know. Questions?
For the
Concerns?
festivals, at least the one that Ben Harper did last year, the Sunday show, I think, ended at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
Okay, so that's the Blues Festival,
Okay.
which is put on by the Grand County Blues Society, an all-volunteer organization. So we let them do what they want. Sundays, we wouldn't end them early, but I understand why they end early because people don't stay. So one of the things that happens on a Sunday, you have a Ben Harper, and all these people get up and leave to get back to Denver, and then you've spent all this money on this headliner and nobody's there, even though they said they wanted to see him. So I think that was part of their thinking there, that to spend money on more acts, and then no one stays for the headliner. So I think that's probably what you might have wanted to hang out,
Right.
but the other people go to Denver. I've experienced it where we're spending. Used to be in the big shows, we would spend like $200,000 on somebody, and half the audience would go away because they had to go to work on Monday.
Mm,
So
gotcha.
they're on sale today. Blues Fest went on sale today. Let's see. Friday is JJ Gray and Mofro. Saturday's headliners, it's Old People Day, AARP Day, it's Little Feet. I recommended to them that if they did a discount for any of us with an AARP card, it might be a good idea. And then Sunday is somebody Kingfish, and he's like a big deal to the blues people. So, and there's Fabulous Thunderbirds are on Sunday. So like both days on the weekend, if you have your AARP card, you should get because you're probably the only people that know. I know all the words to the Little Feet song, so I'm excited about that.
I have mine.
Jazz festival's on sale, like I said, and then we'll be announcing, hopefully in the next 3 weeks, we'll announce everything about the Revel in the Park, so you can get ready to party and drink and dance.
What are the dates for that?
August, it's like 7th, 8th. That's Friday, I think.
Okay.
I think Friday, 7th and 8th. And then the 9th on Sunday, we're going to do things like, we're going to try to get all the restaurants all around throughout the valley to do some bluegrass brunches and provide music for them to have at their establishments so that we kind of have people enjoy. Like we're going to do a big fitness in the park, like try to get some famous yoga person. I don't know, Michael Franti, maybe, I don't know. But, and then do his wife, and then have the brunches. So like it would be kind of throughout the community that there'd be yoga and a brunch and.
Mhm.
Because I guess I've been at fitness in the park when everybody does yoga and then they go and have brunch. I'm like, okay, you worked out, now you have brunch. Good. It's a good way to go. Any other questions? There is a budget slide. You have this. You can call me with questions. I don't know if you want to discuss your board member appointment and how you want to do that. Anytime you're ready, we'll be ready.
Catherine, when are you guys looking at changing the bylaws?
The bylaws are easy to change. We don't have to wait to change them. This can be a parallel path.
Okay.
All we do to change the bylaws is to, because in our bylaws, it says that the chamber board can change the bylaws themselves. We don't have to take a vote of the membership. They don't have to take a vote of the membership. So they would vote on that and then I send it to Secretary of State. Pretty simple.
Okay. I'm assuming our 4 business owners are already members.
I am a member.
I'm not a member.
Mhm.
Members.
Julie's a member. So you don't have to talk about it tonight, just letting you know. I mean, maybe you don't want to play with any of this. So, and that would be understandable. Questions, concerns?
We can do it at the next meeting if you guys want to.
Yeah, maybe when we have all of us here.
Mhm.
Something
Good
I
idea.
was anticipating. I was anticipating appointing somebody tonight or.
Right.
Ben, lastly, we just, one of them are always, I do on behalf of the Chamber Board, just want to thank all of you on this board and this staff because everybody's great to work with. We are very excited that we're all working together. We enjoy working with Sarah Wick and making sure all your marketing that's here for Fraser gets put out there with ours and just the whole attitude and, you know, we just really appreciate that we're all working together again. So I just want to say thank you for that.
Thanks for having us back.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Yeah.
We always
So
thank
this will
them.
be the first time the Frasers ever had a seat, correct?
Yeah, well, because we didn't have the appointments
Right.
before. So before, you know, Peggy was on because she got elected, but we didn't have anyone appointed at that time.
Yeah.
So then when we did change, we just recognized as an organization that organizations like the towns, like the resort, need to be at the table when we're making decisions, not after we make a decision, say, oh, we didn't like that, like having a voice while we're making plans is important. So we switched then because we were kind of tired of fighting with it. Like there was more fighting when you play telephone. Let's just put it that way. When you don't talk to each other one-on-one, then there's miscommunication and people change things. And so we solved some of those problems that had nothing to do with Fraser at that time. And we just knew that there were issues that needed to get solved and it was just a matter of improving our communication. And so that's really worked well.
Great. Thanks, Catherine.
And then whoever does get appointed, we ask that the commitment would be that they come back and report to this board. So it's not just them coming to a chamber board meeting, but them being able to come back and keep this board apprised of what's going on.
Great.
Oh, Peggy, really quick, we did look up Connor's thing and we shared his social media today and then it's going to be in the newsletter tomorrow.
Oh, thank you.
You're
Appreciate it.
All right. Marketing update. Sarah Wick.
Thank you, ladies.
Colleen's going.
Good evening, Mayor and Trustees. I'm Sarah Wick, the Marketing and Communications Manager for the town of Fraser. And thanks for taking the time for this marketing update. I'm going to whiz through the numbers pretty quickly because I know you guys have an executive session and you don't need me to stand up here and read all the slides for you. You can do that. So I'm going to kind of skip to the fun stuff. Can I have the, yep. Wait for them to pull it up. So we're going to go through some of the social media stats and analytics, but like I said, I'm going to whiz through it pretty quick and just touch on the fun stuff. And then website website stats from Explore Fraser, Colorado, and FraserColorado.com. And then let's see, active marketing campaigns, the Fire and Ice recap, and upcoming events, and then questions from you guys. So overall, those were some definitions. This is going to look the same from the last meeting. It just has definitions, and the social media, anything with an underline obviously has a link. So if you have any questions about like what all of these mean, you can also go into that dictionary too. So the key Facebook takeaways, overall, there was growth. You'll see it say decrease by 34%, but that's only because it's comparing it to the rate of increase from the last update. I don't know if that makes sense. There still was a net increase of 178 followers, but because it was comparing it to the rate from last time, technically it was a decrease compared to last time. These are the top Facebook posts. The number one was when it was actually minus 44 at night, but I took a picture of my dashboard on the way to work and it was minus 29. The second one, I'd like to personally thank Parnell for this one because he was the one that bumped up the engagement and got people talking on that one. So thank you, Parnell, for that. And then the next one was a post about Fire and Ice, and a bunch of people shared their photos in the comments. So the engagement was pretty high on that one. Again, same thing with Instagram. There was a net follower increase, but because it compared it to the time before, there it says decrease, but again, everything is increasing on both of these accounts. Again, the number one thing was the minus 29 degrees. The second one was a video by Connor Nelson, actually. We're going to watch that at the end. And then another post about Fire and Ice. This is for Explore Fraser, Colorado. That Instagram, and we don't have Facebook on that account, just Instagram. There was an increase overall with the rate and net followers impressions on that account as well. The top post was actually an AI generated image by your town manager, Michael Brack. So thank you for that, Michael. And then the video, and then again, the recap from Fire and Ice where people shared their images. YouTube, this is kind of something that needs improvement always, is the video aspect. The top videos were just board meetings, which, you know, depending on what the subject is, could be more popular. So good things. Again, everything was increasing on our social media. And then things that need improvement always is the video.
Sarah, we do have a bunch of new videos.
Okay.
So if you want to visit with the ladies, you're
Okay.
more than welcome to use it.
Okay. Can I upload that to our YouTube?
Probably. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't know if that's-
Am I allowed to? I guess
Yes.
is okay. All right, so our two websites, FraserColorado.com is the more government website, and then Explore Fraser is the tourism website, of course. Fraser, Colorado, the government website, monthly visitors is around 5,000-ish. Average engagement time is 29 seconds. Top visited pages, homepage, and webcam. And the top audience was, oh, go back, sorry. The top audience is Denver and Inglewood. I'm guessing second homeowners. Explore Fraser, that increased quite a bit, and I'm assuming it's because of fire and ice, and I was driving heavy traffic to the website during that time. Average engagement time is 3.5 minutes, and then fire and ice and the homepage are the top visited pages. Colorado, Missouri, and Kansas are our top audience. These are the top search words for Explore Fraser, Colorado. A huge portion was fire and ice for obvious reasons. And then, I mean, the second thing, but that was after about 10 different versions of Fraser Fire and Ice, was the webcam. So good things. Can you move that out of the way for a little bit? So good things is that both websites are getting traffic from the events. Like there's definitely an uptick because they're both promoted on both websites. And again, Explore Fraser, Colorado saw a huge amount of traffic from fire and ice, but that makes sense. Things that need improvement. Again, I'm just going to touch on a couple of these. Probably more blog posts I can drive traffic towards, and then better navigation for both. These are active. Actually, the middle one, the Explore Fraser Digital, I just ended that one. But there's the print ad and Explore Grand, the digital ad that I just ended because it was for winter activities. I'm going to do another one for spring skiing. And then there is the sign up at the train station, which isn't really getting a lot of action. I think it was like 44 scans so far. So we'll let that ride and see what happens. So what's next? Planning for picnic in the park. The call for artists for Mural Fest is also up. We're going to be fixing the navigation on both websites. Again, the blog, more video. The Become a Local, which I'll be working with Sarah Catanza right on. New photos, utilize YouTube more. Because the live cameras get so much view time, I'm thinking about putting another one somewhere in town.
I got an idea.
Where?
Safeway Cam parking lot, so we can see how busy it is before we go there.
I love that idea. I love that idea.
I tried to put it on top of Sharky's, it was too far away.
I do love that. Yeah.
Seriously,
Yep.
Safeway Cam.
Put it on the pinnacle.
Yeah.
Right.
How big,
Yeah,
how busy is it? Can I go there real quick
Right.
or not?
What's the wait time?
But by the time you get there,
Okay, so moving on.
No, I do love that idea though. Yeah.
I don't know if we can do it.
Right. Another new thing that we,
wait time.
Yeah. How many checkers are open? They have like a
checkers and estimated wait
vertical
time.
field thing.
another new thing, and if you haven't subscribed on one of your platforms, I suggest you do it. And encourage your friends too, is the Fraser podcast. It's usually not 5 minutes, but it says 5 minute, update, but it's just highlights of what's going on during the meetings. And KFFR also picks that up as well. Usually it's around 2 minutes. So love that. I mean, I'm a big podcast fan, so it's good. You can listen to it, when you're getting ready for work.
Side note, please tell Garrett, good job. He was
Sure.
on the radio
Oh, he was?
last Wednesday.
Okay.
You're talking about the comp plan workshop?
Yep.
Okay, good. All right, fire and ice recap. So I just have a bunch of pictures here. There's also a link for the survey. Again, you guys can dive in deep and see what people that attended thought about the event. Overall, people enjoyed it. A lot of the feedback was about the shuttles. There wasn't enough shuttles, parking, the usual stuff, but we will address that. Pack feedback. This is when we did our debrief. A slide for the kids, even if it's just a big dirty pile of snow. It's kind of what people said. More shuttles, maybe more glow in the dark activities, an ice bar, more sculptures, fire pits, some non-food vendors like outdoor gear vendors. Next year is going to be the fifth year anniversary, so we want to up the game a little bit. We're not exactly sure how we're going to do that, to be determined. We talked about a drone show and just more torches to light the path. And this is the video. Do you want to play that? This is done by, oh. So that was just a quick recap that Connor edited real quick, just, 15 seconds, and we're getting all the other footage for promo for next year. So thank him for that. And I think that's it. Oh. So questions, comments, concerns, feedback for Fire and Ice, anything else?
One thing we always debate about is how many people actually came.
I don't know.
It's, could we
I-
use cell phone data? Like,
We can, yep.
yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I struggle with Datify too, because I think last year I looked at the event with a geofence, and the trial that I was using on this platform said like 6,000 people were there. And yes, that's what it was.
Yeah, and he said, oh, you had 12,000 people at your jazz festival. I was like, you understand that? No, we couldn't. Doesn't think
Right.
so. It's
I mean,
It's
how
a-
are
it's a
they,
relative
getting
Not
this?
the, yeah.
Right.
Well, and it's interesting that you're getting higher numbers, because I was talking with either Datify or Placer, and they were saying that events are more difficult because they collect the data when you use a particular app that they have an agreement with. So you might be at an event, but you're not using your apps, right? Like your phone is in your pocket. Whereas if you're here for a few days, you're likely to use one of those, or even a whole day, one of those apps while you're here, so that they can.
Do you think he was picking up like Safeway customers or people just driving down the highway? Or
Potentially.
going by,
Potentially, I don't know. I can look at the Datify, but it's
They say you're supposed to be here for a certain amount of time so that you don't just get highway traffic.
people had fun.
yeah.
Yes.
I think that, I mean, everybody asks about High Note Thursdays. When you go, do you have fun? You come, you have fun, locals, I mean, if
Right.
you feel like you succeeded in animating your community and building community, sense of community, and people look forward to it next year, I don't know what more you'd get if you had 10,000 people.
Right, the
that actually
numbers.
doing it. So
Mhm.
I did tell Sarah that we use,
The
we
lift.
do use the lift,
Mhm.
and you guys pay for the lift, use the lift next year.
Yeah.
We will.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a
I hope so.
huge line right after fireworks.
Right.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. That would be good. So I think we've learned that our community really likes fire.
There was that incident.
So what if we did like some kind of bonfire in the summertime, like a fire and water festival? We don't want to just call it a fire festival.
yeah.
Oh, I guess with
We don't have
fire
fire
danger.
fires.
Yeah, I was like,
Mm,
But if you guys have it controlled like that, just in case there is a ban, then,
yeah,
I mean, you can't have your own fire, and then. I
we
mean, the
could at
park
least
will
have a
be there.
community bonfire,
Between the ponds.
Yeah.
right?
Coming from my wildfire fighter family, I would say I would be very upset. Because we're trying to get people not to have fires, then I don't know if we have a fire crew this summer, so I'm sure, not this summer for sure, because I don't know, locals have to go put it out, so, yeah, it's just that message. It just depends on how you live, what your family does, right, Peggy?
Mm-hmm.
Peggy knows having. But the winter's great, then you can burn over the snow, it's a great time.
Sure.
anything else?
I like
Ryan?
what Winter Park does with their social media and getting their board members to like talk about what's going on.
Mhm.
And I think we should do that. We could do quick interviews with everybody and
Okay.
yeah, put them up. Yep.
Who's first? Brian, you already did something.
Yeah. That's it for me.
I'll contact you guys. I don't need an answer right now. Anything else from Fire and Ice?
Give up like the events. Interviews with the board members
For everything. I mean, for St. Louis Landing, I did one, but you know, the bike park,
cameo.
All of
yeah,
it.
all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah. DDA.
There's always good KFFR space too.
Right.
Cool.
That's
Anything else, trustees? All right. Thanks, Sarah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Compensation rates for board and committee members. Antoinette.
Hello, Mayor and Trustees, Antoinette McVeigh, and the Town Clerk. So we have before us, a consideration to increase the compensation for all of the committees, the trustees and the mayor and the commissions. The background is the compensation for the mayor and the board of trustees, planning commission, public arts committee, and the economic development advisory committee has not been increased in many years. The town is growing and the amount of work and time commitment to serve the board and committees is ever increasing. The town hopes to attract the best talent and fair compensation should be reflected in the importance of these roles. And I want to be clear, compensation, in order to increase compensation, any member of the governing body, including the mayor and trustees, shall not be increased or diminished during the time of the term which you have been elected or appointed. So if the board would choose to move forward with an increased compensation, your current term, you would not receive the increased compensation. But if you would be reelected, you would receive the compensation. And at the next election, if there were new trustees that would be elected, they would receive that new compensation. So 2018, via ordinance 451 was the last time the Board of Trustees compensation was increased. So currently, the trustees get $100 per meeting, and then the mayor and the mayor pro tem, in absence of the mayor, receives $200 per meeting. And then the mayor receives $75 for any other meetings that the mayor is obligated to attend on behalf of the town of Fraser, when the Board of Trustees asks them to attend. I am suggesting to increase the compensation for the trustees to $200 per meeting, and the mayor or the mayor pro tem, in absence of the mayor, to $350. And then the mayor increases to the meetings that they attend on behalf of the board to $200. And I wanted to include, if a trustee is asked to attend a meeting on behalf of the board, that they receive $100 compensation. Currently, if a trustee does attend a meeting on behalf of the board, they are not compensated at all. And then the planning commission, the last time they received an increase in compensation was 2014. And currently they receive $75 per meeting. And I'm recommending to increase the compensation to $150 per meeting. And again, the board, so the planning commissioners, so commissioners that do serve, so the current board of trustees and mayor serving in the commission, again, would not receive the increased compensation during the respective term as a trustee and mayor, but all appointed commissioners that are not trustees will receive the increased compensation after the next municipal election, which is November 2026. And then the Public Arts Committee, currently, the last compensation they received, which I also believe was when they were actually created, was 2016. And they currently receive $75 per meeting, and I'm proposing to increase this to $100 per meeting. And that would go into effect after the next municipal election. There are no trustees that sit on the Planning Commission or the Public Arts Committee. And then the EDAC, I'm also proposing, so they currently also receive $75 per meeting, to increase that to $100. Now, the EDAC is not currently meeting, but they do still exist as a committee with the town. So I felt maybe increasing that compensation at this time may be appropriate. So if they do continue to re-meet later down the road, that compensation has been increased the same as the PAC. And those are both considered staff committees rather than anything like the Planning Commission or like the DDA or anything. And then I wanted to be clear, the JFOC, they are, 3 trustees are appointed by the board, and they are paid the same as if they were at a board of the trustees meeting. And those would also not be increased until the next municipal election. So again, that goes concurrent with your seat as your trustee. And then the DDA, they do not receive compensation, and that is per the Colorado statutes that they are not allowed to receive compensation. So in the packet, I did have an ordinance for the Board of Trustees, which is required to be presented to the board as an ordinance. This does have to be codified within our code, and that is required for the statutes also. So again, I wanted to make sure it's clear that the compensation provided to the mayor and board of trustees may not be increased or diminished during the term for which the individual has been elected or appointed. Again, we believe that the mayor and the board of trustees, the time and energy that it takes necessary to perform the duties of their respective offices should be fairly compensated to reflect the importance of these roles. So again, the ordinance does reflect those increased compensation to $200 per meeting for the trustees, $350 for the mayor or the mayor pro tem in absence of the mayor, and $200 for the trustees for each meeting. And then the trustees, the mayor would receive $200 for any other meetings requested by the board to attend, and $100 for the trustee to attend those meetings also. And then ordinance or resolution 2025-0303 is for the planning commission to increase that pay to $150 per meeting. Again, the current board of trustees serving on the commission would not receive the increased compensation during their respective term as a trustee. And all appointed commissioners that are not trustees will receive the increased compensation after the next regular municipal election. And then resolution 2025-0304 increases the compensation of the Public Arts Committee to $100, again, after the next regular municipal election. And then resolution 2025-0305 for the EDAC, again, increasing the compensation to $100 per meeting also. And I did in the packet include the compensation study, which included the other towns in Garrett County to show the compensation. And I did put a couple other municipalities that are similar in size to the town of Fraser, so you guys could see those other compensations also. Does anybody have any questions?
I do. Is there any definition to the other meetings as requested? I'm assuming that's when we were here and saying, and we need somebody to go. Or is there another qualifier to that? Or-
So the mayor does set mayor's hours. So I would say that would be another meeting that as the board of trustees does ask the mayor to do. There's the mayor's, managers, commissioners meetings once a month that are, there's one
Bi-monthly basis.
bi-monthly.
Or every 2 months.
Yeah, that the mayor does attend those meetings on behalf of the board. And I'm not sure at this time, right offhand, what are the meetings that would be.
I mean, the chamber
The
meetings.
chamber meeting, if there would be a board member appointed to the chamber, that would
Okay.
probably fall under that same compensation. Julie represents the CML Legislative Committee on behalf of the board. I would say that would be one that would be compensated for also.
Transit Advisory Committee, Brian represents Fraser on that portion.
We don't have a specific list of those meetings that are the trustees are asked to go to.
Yeah, I was just trying to get an idea. Yes, I mean, we attend a lot of other
Different.
board, just as curious bystanders as well. And
Sure.
It's that was a good explanation.
Yeah, I think it's really what you are asked to go to represent the town of Fraser as a trustee.
Okay.
Yep. Any other questions?
Thoughts?
I don't necessarily think we need it. I mean, did anybody know they were getting paid when they ran? No. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Well, and I'll tell you that for election seasons that we've had here, I mean, there's a certain degree of unsurety if we're going to get enough people running for elected official seats. And that's always something that we worked on with the last election. It was very much like, how can we advertise this and try to get as many applicants as, people running for these positions as possible.
But if someone's doing it for $100, they might not be doing it for the right thing. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, but you also don't want to alienate someone that can't afford to take a night off work or whatever. So, we want a diverse board.
Right.
And so we don't want that limited to
point.
just people that can afford to donate their time.
I'm in very much agreement. I mean, I think we're a majority of business owners and I don't know if that has something to do, but the income levels and the availability, I think it's important to have the potential for lesser income people on the board and provide that flexibility.
Yeah. I mean, I say a lot that what we get paid is enough to cover a babysitter for the meeting, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, it's
After
minimal.
tax.
Could be
So-
working at McDonald's.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. So, it's still, even with the increase, I think it's just covering for your time.
Pays my water bill.
Mhm.
Not yours.
Yeah.
And,
That's a good point. I didn't think of that.
we do have an ordinance. Should a trustee decide that they do not want to receive the compensation, that it can be donated to a nonprofit. So that is always a possibility if somebody felt they really didn't want to receive that compensation. And we have had board members do that before.
I'm assuming we could, if we wanted to, if the board wanted to, they could approve the 3 resolutions as kind of a slate, but with the ordinance, do we have to do that separately?
I think you could do it all in one motion if you would desire. Unless if everybody would vote the same, but maybe you need to do them separately in case people don't agree with the compensation increase to each of those.
It's on the other two.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the Town of Fraser ordinance number 521 series 2025, an ordinance increasing the mayor and the Board of Trustees compensation and updating Chapter 2, Article 2 of the Fraser Municipal Code.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
And I'll make a motion to approve Resolution 250303, Planning Commission compensation, Resolution 250304, PAC compensation, and Resolution 2025-03-05, EDAC compensation.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay.
I really wish we had a printer
Thanks, everybody.
on the board.
Okay. Moving on
Maybe
to
to
updates. Comp plan open house on March 6th, 2026. That's tomorrow.
That's tomorrow. So, Mayor, I'll just provide a quick update on that. Most of you are aware, but tomorrow from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. at the rec center, we will have 4 members from our consulting team and our planning staff, and I think Sarah Catenza might be there. I'll try to swing by at some point. We'll be there with some large printout poster boards with the main highlights from the comprehensive plan, showing our downtown conceptual plans, our land use maps within town, the 3-mile plans for areas outside of town, and some other just key aspects of the comprehensive plan to gather feedback, have some discussions, and try to get some good input from community members there. So that'll be available from 4 to 7 tomorrow if you'd like to swing by and bring some people if you like.
At the rec center, right?
At the rec center, at
So
the
it should
Grand
get
Park
a
Rec.
pretty good view.
What's that?
It should get a pretty good view.
Yeah.
During that time.
I think so. I have some other updates I can.
Go for it.
We do, after talking with Sarah, we are looking to hopefully have some type of determination this Friday for GoCo funding for the bike park. So we are looking for that decision from their board. We did spend all of yesterday driving down to Eaton, Colorado. Myself, Sarah, and our mayor was able to join us for that. So I think we put our best foot forward on presenting for about 20 minutes to the Department of Local Affairs and answering some questions and presented on funding for the child care facility and funding for some further infrastructure dollars to lower that cost for phase one. So again, thanks for Sarah for spearheading that presentation. Thank you to Brian for coming with that. I know it's a long drive. It was about 2.5 hours there. Then I drove very slowly over the pass coming back. So it was a long time in the car, but we made good use of it, and I think it was a good trip. So look forward to seeing the determination on that, which we should hopefully hear something by the end of next week, we believe, possibly. And you know, with the next meeting that we do have, the business enhancement grants will be coming forward for the board's review. We did get 9 applications totaling about $118,000 worth of funding requests. There's some that will have some issues with eligibility and different things like that, but it's by far the largest turnout we've ever had for the business enhancement grant, where normally those applications have never had a deadline, and we've had, I don't know, 3 to 4 a year max, I think. So with this deadline approach, I think it really was a great move by the board, and we'll have that discussion at the next meeting. That's all I got.
We did have a planning commission meeting last week. Planning commission approved major site plan and final plat for the Ascent, which is the building next to Exports and a conversion of Exports potentially to apartments. Don't know what'll happen to Exports if they do that, but that's the ski broker.
Oh, okay.
It's called exports.
Exports. The name got changed like.
And I was
2 years ago.
talking to Garrett about that today. It does look like it's converting to all residential.
Yeah. So I don't know if the business is going to move or just close. But that's up for the owner.
I
to
believe
decide.
Garrett was saying that I think Clark was hoping to relocate it to the Market Street buildings. Is what he was told. So plans change all the time, but that's the current.
I've heard there's going to be a medical center and a dentist office. A lot of things over the years.
And that will go to the board later, right? And then the Village at Grand Park filing 3 final plat got approved as well. And that'll come to the board next. So that's the update from Planning Commission. I think that's all I have. Any updates from everybody else? Okay. Well, next we're going to move into an executive session, and then we are going to adjourn from that and adjourn the meeting. So while the executive session will be recorded for whatever reason, we will adjourn right after.
Okay. I move to enter executive session for the purposes of determining positions relative to the matters that may be subject to negotiations, developing strategies for negotiations, and/or instructing negotiators under CRS Section 24-6-4024E regarding property acquisition to include the town manager, Michael Brack, and assistant town manager, Sarah Catanzarite.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, you guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming.
Thanks. Good to see you. What's that?
I know what your job is. You second.
I second everything.